Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm going to tell you my teaching philosophy. So, I'm going to start off with a little bit about my views on teaching, and here are some general rules that I would keep in my classroom. The most important one, love. It's important to love your students and to show care and compassion to each and every one of your students. Not every student has a good home life. You don't know what they could be suffering from. So it's important to be there as a teacher and be their trusted adult and to love everybody. Secondly, every student is capable of learning. It's important to get to know your students and to know what type of learning works for them. Every student's going to learn differently. Some are visual learners, some need to listen to it, some need to be hands-on. So it's important to incorporate all of the styles of learning in your classroom to make sure each one of your students succeed. It's also important to find a balance because you can't always be the fun teacher. You have to have rules. Personally, I'm a daycare teacher and I'm pretty strict, and I learned to find a good balance in between. You need to know when to be strict and what you need to do to redirect them, because it's your job as a teacher to redirect their behavior and correct them, their learning. Some of the ways that students learn are, for example, visual. Some people need to look at a PowerPoint or see you do it, go off examples. Other ways of learning are like hands-on, actually, like, say, writing that essay, and then you correcting it and then fixing it. Another type of learning is listening. Videos, songs, rhymes are all examples that could help a student who is a student who learns by listening. It's important to work with all types of learners and to incorporate different ways for those students to succeed and work with them. For example, like in tutoring, to help them understand the assignments and to actually learn the information instead of just kind of hearing it. I always like to incorporate songs, rhymes, videos, and other assignments to engage my students. And it's important to always offer help. Obviously, you can't help on tests and stuff, but in the classroom, I believe it's always important to answer their questions, even if you've already said it 100 times. Try to answer it in a different way so the student can understand, maybe give an example. Always offer tutoring, like after school or before school tutoring. Another important aspect of teaching is knowledge, and I think it's very important to get information, as much information as you can, about their background, their culture, their household. You can always give like a little survey trying to get to know them, or talk to the parents, or even asking your students if they want to tell you anything. I think it's important not to ask for specifics, but just like broad questions to get to know your students so you can adjust your learning, or sorry, your teaching to their learning, if that makes sense. Some students have parents who don't really get involved with the school, but it's still important for that student to learn. So you got to think of other ways to incorporate the students. Some other ways I engage students is by having cool down time. This is time in between assignments, or if they're having a real hard time, or at the end of the day, where you just kind of take a break and breathe and maybe stretch, get up, move their hands, wiggle all their sillies out. Another one is music. A lot of younger kids love to listen to music, so you can always find educational songs. Personally, I'm thinking about teaching English 3rd grade, and there are a lot of different just educational songs and videos that really help get your students' attention. Another important thing is a comforting environment. I want my classroom to be welcome to all students. I want every student to come in there and feel welcome. And some ways to do that is maybe providing like a private reading area with beanbag chairs, something fun for them to sit on. I know some students like to read in a little tent. I've had teachers in the past do little pillows and stuff, just make it feel kind of homey. Make them feel comfortable and want to learn. Another thing is to get the parents involved as much as you can. Some parents don't want to be involved, and that's okay. But the parents that do, it's important to always update them with information. I think communication with the parents is a big thing with teaching. You need to make sure that the parents are also working with their kids, and the ones that aren't working with their kids, you can work with them a little bit more. Parents may not always do homework and stuff, and that's okay. It really is to help the student, and if you do have parents that do want to get involved, another thing to send is information packets, because as your students grow, they're developing, their minds are changing. I think it's important to send home kind of assessments on how their student is doing, what they need to work on, and ways to help the subjects that they are struggling in. That is, it helps the parents understand where their student or where their kids are in school. Well, I hope you like my philosophy of teaching. Remember to be flexible and to just love all your students the best you can and be understanding. Thank you.